Hey everyone, welcome to my route breakdown of, I cannot pronounce his name, a Japanese super player. He's the top CS player in the world, I believe. Plasma will write his name in the chat. He played this run live at ShmupMania. It was kind of his hit and run, like I did Pearl's hit and run in Shmup Slam 2. And it was really cool because everyone was wanting to see him play Dodonpachi. And so this is what we got. Unfortunately, I was only able to catch it live at the very beginning because it was like 5 a.m. and I'd been up all night before the other runs. So this is kind of me not only doing commentary for the run, but also being able to break down these routes and stuff because I am a CS player myself. I'm trying to beat Airpo's score, eventually aiming for a 500 mil, perhaps a 600 mil, maybe, depending on how the 500 mil goes. And so let's get started. We'll begin by talking a little bit about the ship he's playing here. There's a little taster right there. So CS. So in Dodonpachi, I've mentioned this in the Shmup Saga episode, but in Dodonpachi, there are two subtypes for each ship, laser and shot. The laser type with C is actually really good. That's what I got my 2-all with, where your shot's a little bit weaker, but you have a much more powerful laser. And the thing about the C ship is this difference is really pronounced. So the C shot laser, I believe, is the weakest laser of all the ships in the entire game, but the C shot is by far the most powerful. So the thing is a beast where it basically lays waste to the stages, but has a real tough time on boss fights, especially Hibachi and stuff near the end and the Loop 2 bosses like 2-3. So it is a really interesting ship to play, kind of the polar opposite of AL in many ways, which is the most popular ship type in Dodonpachi. So let's get started. So this was played live, which is really cool. And he's playing on the 2P side. There are a number of reasons why he's playing on the 2P side. I'll talk about it during stage 1 because stage 1 isn't all that interesting. The reason why he's playing on the 2P side is that there are bizarre differences in the sides in Dodonpachi. Some shmups have this trend, some shmups don't, but Dodonpachi definitely has it. So if you play the 1P side in Dodonpachi, it has a little bit of a different scoring bonus system where it always escapes me because I don't really care to investigate it all that much, but basically the 2P ship does some extra stuff with the stars and gathering stars where it makes them a little bit more meaningful, whereas in 1P there really isn't much point to it. And the trade-off is that 1P side, you're able to link bombs in a chain, not the... so there's called a laser bomb. So in 1P side, you can laser bomb and link it in the chain if you have your maximum bonus, which kind of sounds cool, but is basically useless for scoring because you don't want to destroy your maximum bonus. But I can kind of see the theoretical idea of doing it. So in the end, it ends up being that 2P is usually better for scoring, but there's kind of a weird trade-off that is probably unintentional in that the 2P in stage 2-3, the mid-boss attack is for some reason less powerful or less fast than it would be on 1P side, but the trade-off is that Hibachi is more fast and aggressive. So it is kind of an interesting choice on which one you want to go with. But I think overall, you'll notice a real trend of people playing a lot of 2P ships. Another thing that he plays 2P for is that 2P is the black ship, and the black ship is the coolest ship in Dodonpachi, and so of course you're going to play 2P for that reason. I'm not going to lie, that's like half the reason I play 2P myself, is just because I love the black ship. So anyway, stage 1, I'm not going to break down the routes in stage 1. He did a little bit of stuff there on the boss where you can get some extra points and blah blah blah. Though I have no interest in stage 1. It's very simple. But let's get started on stage 2 because okay, now we're playing the game. The game has now begun. So the crazy thing is he's gonna really milk a lot of hits out of this early section here, and the rest of the stage, keep an eye out for that, where the difference between my routes and this guy's routes is he's gonna hit all the stuff. He's gonna get all them points, whereas I tend to miss ships here and there, go for consistency, but at the sacrifice of getting those extra hits and stuff. So this right here is going to be his first little challenge here, where on this left bunker here, there's going to be these tanks that spawn. The thing is, if you kill them fast enough, you can spawn 3 tanks, I think. So that's what he's going to try and do. So he's got 1, 2. No, okay, so his routing, he does not go for the 3 tanks. I think that's because getting this link is one of the most challenging with CS, funnily enough, because you have to, if you're going for the Bs, because there's this B out here that's in the most random position. He's right here, that B right there. I cannot emphasize how tricky that B is to get. So no 3 tanks, just 2. Not a big deal though, because I think you sort of have to do that to get the B. I remember, I think it was ZBL's super play or something, one like a really high super play. That B is so obnoxious, he just skips it. I've never seen that before, but yeah, I'm pretty sure in one of the super plays, one of the dudes just straight up skips that first B, or that B pickup. This section here. The real tough part about this is when you're getting that mid cancel. Sometimes if you're lasering it a little bit too long, you can drop your chain. Now he's going to the tank link here. The funny thing is it seems like the tank, everyone has slight variations on how they chain this damn tank. Like every single player I've seen does it in a little bit of different ways. So let's see how he does it here. See, I take out those turrets on the right there. He didn't do that. Instead, he kind of sticks to the middle. I am assuming his way of doing it is the best because he's getting the most hits. But at the same time, it's like one of those rare occasions in Dodonpachi where there is a lot of different ways to approach that link that all work out to be about the same, right? So not too much to talk about here in stage 2. CS eats stage 2 for dinner. This is a very good ship for this stage for many reasons. Just the wideness and all the, he just picks up all the hits he needs to pick up. So here's the tank fight. Because this guy is such a strong player, he's going to dismantle all the pieces of the tank. I don't do this because it adds more risk for like a little bit of extra points, but since this guy is really, really good, he's going to do it. So he's going to get those extra hits and extra stars by dismantling the tank. What I do is I take out all the right parts first and then go on to the middle and I leave the left parts intact. The thing about this boss fight, both in the first and second loop, is that you need to be mindful of his health. Where you see the high, the high text at the top. I use that as a bit of a marker for where to stop. You need to stop before you get to the end of the G, because otherwise you break him and he goes into kind of a aggressive mode. So watch, he will stop right. Okay, no, he times it where he doesn't need to stop that. But normally if you were going to do that a little bit differently, you have to stop right there. The thing about when he gets into red health, he shoots this swarm. With most ship types, this swarm isn't really all that concerning. This boss isn't all that concerning. But because you're playing CS, every boss is kind of a challenge, and even this one, where you have to be really careful to take him out pretty quickly whenever he hits red health. Otherwise, you can get yourself in some really tough scenarios. Oh, he got 3? I missed him? Okay. So Plaid says he got 3 tanks, I just didn't see it. Oh, yeah. So Plaz, when I said 3, I meant 3 out of that hangar. So that hangar can, if you watch like WTN and stuff, that hangar can spawn 3 tanks out of that one hangar. That's what I meant. Okay, so here we go. The goal of this section is not necessarily chaining. What it's about is getting a crap load of bullets on screen and then getting the cancels on these ships that spawn here. But I think this guy is such a beast. He'll probably somehow chain it. We'll see. No, see, you just don't, because you need to. It's much more valuable to do these cancels here. It's like your little bit taste of Futari big juicy cancels, right? This is the one taste you get in Dodonpachi of that. The risk reward here. So he leaves these people alive. I've always wondered why players do that, but it's consistent enough that I'm pretty sure it's somehow optimal to leave them alive, right? Probably you're getting more bullets on the screen. But if you go back a little bit, I want to show you this. Because I've wondered about this. I just haven't tested it out, right? So he'll get the cancel. And he'll leave these people alive. But notice at the bottom screen, they're like going off screen. So I don't know if they're spawning any bullets or anything like that. But maybe it just gets you way too off route to try and kill them. I'm a little bit trigger happy in this section where I probably kill more ships than I need to. Or that I should, anyway. And when you kill them too, you get a little B. It's actually, in the second loop, it's really important to delay this last kill a little bit. That's a hard lesson I've learned. Because if you don't, the back wall still spawns and you can get yourself in some pretty nasty situations. And also you get more bullets to cancel too, so be sure to cancel that. You notice the bullets are firing backwards. That's actually a little bit random whether they'll do that or not. Some runs they will, some runs they won't. I've heard gamers describe it as rank, but I don't know how that would work exactly. I think it's more of like an RNG element. I don't know. The technicalities there is a little confusing to me, but if it was rank, right, wouldn't it be consistent every time? It's more like an RNG element or something. I don't know. So here we go, of course. The classic. You take out these bits of the side latches here to get the hidden extend. Also, look at this routing here. So this is some off the wall stuff, or some like out big brain thinking here, because because in order to get the maximum out of this, he's like doing some, like he's leaving shit alive and stuff like that. Like look at this. Like like for me, this is where the chain ended, but he's carrying this chain much further. Look how far he carries it. He gets onto the bunker there, and I think he goes even further too. Look, yeah, see? So that is some real creative training to get that. Just get those extra hits. It just shows how optimized these guys are, because I mean, in stage 3, that last bit there, is that a whole bunch of points? Not really, but it's pretty swag to do. So, and it, you know, it's that little extra points that all adds up. Stage 1-3 boss, not much of an issue. A little bit of a warm-up for 2-3 boss, but you need to know what you're doing. So you take, I'm going to talk a lot about the 2-3 boss, so I won't say too much on it on here. But basically, yeah, with any ship type, even CS, you can just bully this boss mostly. Just make sure you, if you can, hopefully the VOD isn't destroyed. Yeah, the good thing is this is just the thirst loop, right? Nothing too issue. This opening section here, the funny thing about it is, notice how that the right shot of whatever you call it of your ship. The funny thing is if you just hold rapid fire, it's weak enough, it's like perfectly weak to extend the chain. Look at this. It's a nice little trick there. So stage 4, the routing in stage 4, this is when we start to really look into stuff now. This stage is a really fun stage to play, but also has quite a few challenging links and shit like that. So here we go. So what I normally do here is I laser that bunker a bit more, and then I shoot those turrets and move up, and then I try and pick off these helicopters that spawn. So let's see what he does here. Yeah, so we basically do the same thing right there. Move up. CS just demolishes this section. It's really funny. CS, you just sit there and hold fire and you just murder everything. Whereas with like AL and stuff, you have to be a little bit more strategic. This link, my god, the link from hell here. So this is one of the more challenging links in the game, I think, here. So you come up, you laser the flower pot. Yes. Now you have to be very strict with like 3 different timings. So you gotta time how long you laser this flower pot. You gotta time how long you laser the bunker up ahead, and then you gotta time when you switch from laser to shot, and then how long you shoot the things on the right. So a lot of shit is gonna happen all at once. This is a very challenging link. So he gets that. So here, you can't move too far forward. If you move too far forward, he'll die too fast. You can't move too far back, because if you move too far back, this turret, you see the turret behind the carrier ship there? That thing will snipe you. So you have to be very, very precise here. So watch. And then watch this tank on the left here. You have to time this is actually pretty tricky. You have to time the time that tank you're lasering blows up with hitting that little tank with your aura. You got to line them up. If you don't, you're going to drop the chain. See that? See how he lined them up? That's what you do. And then you immediately switch to shot, move, and what you need to do is you need to get your two right laser things, right shots, on top of that carrier ship, and you kind of need to line them up to where after the carrier ship dies, you hit the turret behind it. Because if you go too far left or too far right, your chain will drop. So your positioning here is very important. See, it blew up and then immediately hit that turret in the back. If you go too aggro and just kill everything too fast, you'll drop your chain because you'll run out of chain before this tank up here explodes. It is a very, very technical link. One of the most technical links in the first loop. So you got that. So this is going to be interesting because there are two hidden bees, and collecting these bees sucks because you gotta, with CS especially, because your laser startup is really slow and you have to uncover them with your laser. So this is actually, again, another pretty challenging link. On the virtue of your laser startup is so shitty. So he's gotta, here he goes. So he's gotta hit that one bee. Do you see him right there? Get that? Then there's another bee. Get that. That looks simple, but if you miss that, chain dead. So you gotta nail that real close like. This link here is pretty easy. The only issue with this link is if you get a little too heavy-handed with your shot and you kill things too fast. I love this link with CS. So this link's like a little bit more challenging with the other ship types, but CS, you just park right here and just murder everything. It's really nice. Same thing with the second one too. You just park in front of it and let your oh, he does it a little different than me. So what I do is I park in front of it and just let my shot kill everything. But what he's gonna do is he's gonna come to the right, blow it up, and then kind of drag up with his laser to take these things out. Nope, he didn't do that. Wow, took me by surprise there. That's what I assumed he was gonna do. This link is actually easier than it looks right here. He's got to get those bees though. That's the trick. Get up and get that bee. Get that bee. Yes. Here we go. You got to get up there. You got to start lasering. Well, at least what I do. We'll see what he does. You got to get up there and you start lasering the left side of that tank. Then you got to kind of swoosh over before the bullets come out of it. Yeah, see, he did it right there. Now he's got to get in there. He's got to sneak past that. There you go. This link is interesting because it's like there's a bunch of different ways people do this one too. So I actually do the big boy version of this link. So let's see if he does it as well. Yes, so this is I call it the big boy version of this link, where you blow them up on the right, then you drag your laser, and you have to time it just right to where you drag your laser over that red tank, and you take out that helicopter that spawns in front of it. The moment that helicopter dies, you immediately switch to shot and hold left for your life. Hold left. The thing about this here is the positioning again is very important, because if you're too close to it, you'll kill it too fast. But if you're too far away, if you're all the way back, you're gonna get trapped in there in like a weird spot. So you got to find that precise sweet spot right there. You go down, up and around. The thing is the reason why you do all this is because you need to laser this back tank right here, but you can't kill him. If you kill this tank, your chain is dead. So you got to get off him real fast. See what? Look at him go. He's gonna get off him real fast. Blow them. Go left. I hate this part. It's really not that hard, but for something about it, I get like a little bit of a dizziness or something, or my eyes play tricks on me in that part, because there's also these bullshit bullets in this part that are like 1 pixel big. What were they thinking? There's in Dodonpachi, sometimes they have these like 1 pixel big bullets that just blend into the background. Wow, 724, that's a big boy chain. So mine is like 678 or something like that, somewhere in there. This dude's pulling down 724. And the thing about Dodonpachi is, you know, I believe it's somewhat exponential. I'm not a math expert here, but it's basically like the higher your chain, the more valuable each hit becomes. So the difference between like a 30 and a 40 chain is not that important. But the difference between a 700 and 724 chain, that's a bigger difference. That's a much more significant point gain. So milking those points becomes really important the higher up it goes. Here's the boss here. So with the laser ship types, this boss is a piece of cake because you can get the glitch on him pretty easily. With this shot, it's a bit of a pain in the butt because you have to go through 2 rounds of him, and you have to be really, really precise with when you like how much health you get him down to, because you have a very small window to do it because your damn laser startup is so freaking long. So here he goes. So we're on the first round here. So, because this guy is a beast, I think he 1-rounds it, if I remember right. Yeah, he somehow 1-rounds it. I need to, like, practice this, because look, I don't do this, and I feel like I need to. So normally, it takes me 2 rounds. But he somehow 1-rounds it, and I don't know how exactly he does it. I guess just point blanking it really well. You wouldn't think it would be that mysterious, but for some reason he gets way more damage on him than I do. Like, I've even gone up. There's some weird voodoo. I know that, Plasmo, but I'm gonna tell you this now. There is some weird voodoo with point blanking with CS. I'm not making this up. You can go and point blank bosses, and some runs it will do like a crap load of damage, and you're like, yeah, I'm a badass. And then you'll do it again, and you do like way less damage. There's some weirdness going on with the CS point blank. It's just not like parked right there. Like, I've noticed the super players seem to get more damage on their point blanks than I do. It's like, yeah, it's like you have to be at this really precise range though. Like, it's a very specific range you need to be at. So, I need to kind of investigate that more. So, yeah. So, I guess if you learn how to do that very specific point blank, you'll see that come up a lot in the next boss here. You can't do a 1-rounder on the second loop, I know that, though. But he got it here. So, yeah. Shooting, shooting, shooting. Alright, oh boy. Stage 5. Everyone's favorite stage here. We're already starting off. Like, from the start, this stage is tricky. So we go up. I've been experimenting with going left or going right, because if you go right here, I feel like you get them to spawn less bullets than if you go left, but I found it's harder to chain if you go right. This is just my experience. He's going right. Let's see how it goes. Wow, very, very, very good. Obviously much better than the way I do it. Okay, this section here, again. The weird thing about this section is it's so simple that it's kind of hard to route in a way. Like, there's not a lot of stuff to go on compared to some of the other stuff. So you take out that tank. He's probably going to go right afterward. Come up. He's going to point blank the next tank. He's going to point blank the next tank. And when you watch him do this, you're like, oh, that's an easy section. It actually isn't, because it's really precise. If you just go up there and point blank, most of the time your chain will drop. You need to know, you have to be like really precise with those spawn timings to get the point blanks and not drop your chain. So, of course, the dude's a master. He pulls it off. My way of doing it is a little more consistent, but more risky. for survival. It's like more consistent for chaining, more risky for survival. His here is more consistent for survival, less consistent for chaining. At least in my opinion. Or maybe it's not. He's just way better than I am. That's also possible. Right here, let's watch. So there's lots of tanks that are going to come out of these left areas here on the left and the right. One thing I always keep an eye on is how is he routing to catch them all? Is he catching all the tanks? So that's what you should be watching. Is he catching all the tanks? So far, I think he caught them all, right? I think, nope. Okay, one got away. See, I don't know how optimized you can get. I don't know if it is possible to get all of them tanks or not. But I'm assuming it must be extremely difficult. Like, it's one of them, it's kind of like that Link in Stage 4 where you have to keep an eye on a lot of different things. So you need to sit in that middle here. You want to shoot, take out those turrets. And what I do is I kind of time it with the left little turret here. So see this left little turret down here? As soon as that gets low enough on the screen, that's when I move left. That's what I sit and watch. See, it's low enough. There's a bee up there. He doesn't collect the bee there because he's way too cool to do that. He collects it there. The Hall of Hell. So the thing about this is I'd love to rant on about the Hall of Hell and stuff, but the Hall of Hell in Loop 1 with CS is not really much of an issue here. If you know just like basic, how it works on a basic level. Are you guys still alive? Are my people still alive? How many viewers have I lost to Twitch? Okay. So here, the real trick is knowing which side to be on. Once you know which side to be on, your life is going to be much easier. So you're going to come up to the left here, shoot. You always want to be on the right side of this bunker when it blows here. So watch this. Yeah, you always want to be on the right side. This guy is such a badass. He kills it before it goes off. But in the second loop and stuff, you want to be on the right side when it goes off. One thing that drives me crazy, sometimes if you're just shooting, your chain will just drop here sometimes. So that I think if you go back, watch. He'll come up and like laser, right? Watch him laser. For like 3 seconds. You're probably wondering, why the hell is he lasering? It's because sometimes your chain will just drop there if you don't, so I need to start doing that too. Oh, he's getting all them tanks. So the thing is, if you go up, it's much safer for survival, but he wants them hits, so he's hanging back and getting those hits. Ooh, 456? That is a lot of hits. He's still not done either. Let's see how far he carries this. This will be real interesting. So 875. He's going for it. So let's see if he gets the full chain. I can't remember if he does or not. So there is a way to full chain this, but it's absurdly difficult. In fact, it was top secret basically until earlier this year, when I recreated it. Okay, he didn't get it. It's so difficult. I tasked it and it was still hard. So when you're using like half speed and save states and bullshit and it's still hard, you know that's a hard chain to do. I think it's probably easier with CS than with AL, to be honest though, because your laser is weaker, so you have a little bit more time to hit it. But also your ship's slower, so that makes it challenging too. So I actually don't know which one's harder, but I wouldn't be surprised if CS was a little bit easier. Alrighty, so here we are, Stage 5 boss. The funny thing about Stage 5 boss is the first loop and second loop are about the same in difficulty. The second loop's probably still a little bit harder for CS, but they're not that far apart. He goes for the safe spot on the left. So he doesn't do the mark strat because no one does the mark strat but me. But what I do here, I gotta point out, is this gets you less hits, but it kills the boss faster. What I do is I come up and I sit in this cradle up here and point blank it the entire first phase here. So I'm just sitting up in this little cradle between the bullets there. I'm just sitting up there during this whole phase, and you can get a crap load of damage on it by doing this. Oh, I just noticed my overlay has gone crazy. Why, Twitch? Oh, I think I can fix it. Please hold out, Twitch. Not too much to say anyway on this boss fight. Handles it like a champ. Takes it out before it goes into that phase. You know you're doing good if you kill it before it goes into that final phase there. Alright, so this stage I'm really looking forward to watching, because this is what I want to study actually. So there's two sections of this stage that I don't do that I'm considering doing. The first section is this first link here. This is really hard to do, linking this first section here. Let's see if he does it. I'll point out the part where it gets really hard. So far this part isn't too hard. Right about, not there, not yet, not yet. This part's still tricky, but not that tricky. Here. So this point forward, this is so hard to chain. Like, you have to be really on top of your stuff to do it. Nails it. I think I might try and learn that. I might try and learn that. Because I usually just start my chain from a little bit earlier. This point here is like 1,000 ways to skin a cat, right? So, is he going for El Glitcho here? Let's look. Okay. So for those who don't know, this buddy up here, can't really see him. There he is. Top of the frame up there. That's Glitcho. That's how you activate the glitch in the game. And the way you do that is killing him on the same frame that you gain a hit, and by doing that you activate the glitch and all that good stuff. Super hard to set up, especially with CS. Here he is though, he's setting it up. Did he get it? I don't know. I can't ever tell until like really late in the stage if he got it or not. I'm assuming probably not, but I don't think so, right? Did he get it, Plaz? I didn't think so. Okay. It's just hard to tell, to be honest. So this section up here, not too hard to chain up till this point, where you gotta go into laser. What I do, we'll see what he does too. You see these line of turrets on the right here? You gotta leave these bad boys alive, and then you get right in front of them and switch to shot. That's how you get from laser to shot. He gets up there? Yeah, perfect. Very, very clean. Then you come down. You're going to go up and around. He's using laser. Oh, balls. So this whole section here, let's go back before he gets hit. Let's go back. Okay. So normally what I do here is I just switch to shot and just sit in the middle of the screen and kill everything. He is going into laser. Why? To get El Glitcho up here, I'm assuming, right? So here's El Glitcho up here. So this is, I think that's why he gets dunked in the face, because normally you don't do this, but if you want to get that Glitcho, you got to get up there and get that laser. So he went for it, it didn't pan out. And these bee things that spawn and shoot those green links, they're like different depending on the run and stuff. So there's another RNG factor that makes this really difficult. I think he resets. I'm pretty sure he resets. Yeah, he resets. But we don't need to watch the reset. We can just jump to the part where he comes back in the second loop. Oh boy. Okay, so let's go to the second loop, shall we? Or the time he tries this again. This is still first loop stuff. First loop stuff. And we're back. Okay, here we are. So let's try this again. So here's his second attempt. There he goes. Well, at least he didn't get... Oh, he drops his chain, though. See how risky that strat is? At least he didn't get hit though. But that's a lot of points lost dropping the chain right there. I want to see how he drops it. So he's going up. He's shooting. Goes for a glitcho. Oh, he hits it too. It's just maybe wasn't close enough to that B there to get it to link. That's one of those chain drops where it's like barely a chain drop, you know? Just a little bit off. You have to delay that a little bit. If you speed kill that section there, you miss the link. So keep an eye on how many of these things he gets. He gets them all, man. There's one. He got them all. Wow. I need to start doing that. Then you sit in the middle there like that. This link's tricky. You gotta leave those turrets on the right alive a bit. I need to start doing this. So you shoot them. Oh, he left just one. Oh no, okay. So he left a few alive there. I've always wondered how you link this. So you link it off shooting the bees. Shoot that. Switch. Oh, that's a really tough link. I remember watching replays of people doing this. Oh, he dropped it. He didn't drop it on that, though. Look, he dropped it because his laser got reset. Watch. That is such bullshit. Look at it. This is one of the dumbest chain drops I've ever seen, as far as, like, design. So he's lasering it, but it pops onto that fin and drops his chain. Come on. Come on, Cave. Fix that shit. So it takes out the tanks here. None of it really matters all that much as far as chaining all that. He already dropped his chain. Here we go, the boss fight. Still has a high, even with those chain drops, still has a higher first loop than I do. Mine's 15, he's at 17. And that's me like pulling everything off. I get a 15. That pattern. So it gets through that section. This, like I said before, this pattern's static here. Just dodge it. Memorize it and dodge it. Here comes the ninja stars. They're a little bit randomized, but pretty consistent. They'll get you from time to time, though. They'll get you. Every 20 runs or something, the ninja stars will get you. Right? Okay, so the thing about this pattern here is you need to lay off him at the end there, because if you damage him too much, he'll start his final pattern right in your face. So watch, he's going to lay off him here at the end of this pattern. See, he's kind of like laying off him a bit. Perfect. That way he moves back when he starts this. This is the run killer. That's the name of this pattern, the run killer. So how this pattern works, and it's harder with CS than the other ships because the slow movement speed and the fact that your laser does less damage than the other ships. So the way it works is there's these aimed spears, and unlike Shalanchi, you don't try and dodge in between those tiny little gaps of the pink bullets. Don't do that. Instead, what you do is you hang out between the openings of the pink walls here. You have to time your movements on those openings, so there's like a rhythm element to it where you have to hold still and then move when those open. You'll see that? See how he moves when they open? And the thing about it is you can kind of manipulate them a little bit as far as like how wide you open them and stuff. But it's also really challenging because those spears are slightly randomized and it always throws a change up at you. I call it the change up, where basically you'll have like kind of a somewhat similar pattern of throwing spears at you for a while, so it kind of gets you into a groove of left, right, left, right, left, right. And you're like, yeah, I'm so good. And then it goes left, 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 left. Like it'll throw this change up spear at you and kill you. It happens all the time. Let's see if I can spot it here. It's kind of hard to spot when you're not actually playing. but it'll throw the change-up spear at you. No. These pink bullets here. So yeah, the pink wall is semi-static, I guess you'd call it. It responds to you. It responds to you, but the rhythm that it opens and closes is always the same. But where it opens and how wide is responding to you. And so the idea is to kind of move in like these squarish movements. Okay, we're watching left, right, left, right. Let's find that change-up spear. There it is. There it was. He dodged it so well you didn't even notice it, but there it was. It's that spear that flies out like way. I will try and capture it. Where is it? Where are you? Oh, okay, there was one. But yeah, so what it'll do is it'll get you in kind of like a rhythm of the spear patterns, and then every now and then it'll throw a weird spear at you that completely breaks the pattern. It's pretty troll, actually. But that's what makes that pattern so difficult too, is you have to be on your toes and react to it. It's a really fun pattern, except for the fact that your entire run's score is dependent on not getting hit. So here we go, we enter the second loop. Definitely hit all the requirements, got all them Bs, got no deaths, and got a big score. Got it all. Big combo too. I think he hit every single loop requirement there is. So here we go, let's go to the second loop. This is where things get brutal. So the big part about not dying and not bombing is carrying this max bonus into the second loop. That is a huge, huge deal that I cannot stress. It is the difference between an extremely high score and a mediocre score, is carrying this max bonus into the second loop, which he accomplished. So he's got an 8 times max. So that means just hanging around, he gains points every frame for this 8 times max. And the more bombs you collect, the higher the max bonus gets. So this game basically punishes you for bombing more severely than any other game I've ever seen. And also the bees too. The bees become much more valuable in the second loop. I'm not sure if your chains themselves are much more valuable or not, but anyway, so I missed out on my little thing I was talking about here, which is I call this boss here the Lotto, because he'll just he'll either get you a really filthy pattern or a really easy one. That was a really easy one. Look, he didn't have to dodge anything, basically. Oh, great question. So, Crumb Kiznak? I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry, my dude. I'll call you Crumb. Crumb? He asked how many hours a day I spend playing shmups. That's a good question. Trum. Okay, so Trum, I usually play about, honestly, I kind of go in spurts throughout the week, so you could average it out, but probably 3 hours a day playing shmups on average. But there's some days where I'll sit and play like Dodonpachi for like 9 hours and stuff, and only some of that is streamed. I put an absurd amount of hours. Just play like 2 or 3 hours a day, I guess. I think that's a safe estimation. Yeah, I play about 2 or 3 hours a day. I play a lot more than I think people realize, because, you know, I'm a content maker and stuff. People tend to think content people just talk about the games. But I play a shitload of Dodonpachi and other shmups on a really regular basis. About 2 or 3 hours a day. When I was going for the 2-all, it was like 4 hours a day or something like that. It was crazy, whatever it was. I can't even remember it, to be honest. Sorry, I lost track of my window here. There it is. Okay. Alright, let's continue. So here we go. Oh, that's cool. Playing that Mars Matrix. I've never really played Mars Matrix outside the memes and stuff. I think we've lost some of the homies to the Twitch shenanigans, unfortunately. Here we go. 2-1 boss is actually kind of an issue. So the thing about it is you need to put damage on him fast. It's all about getting fast damage on him because of his final attack. So get up there, that's what I do. Get up here, point blank, just put that Danny on him. So then you come back. See these walls here? You're gonna slip in between the pink bullets twice. So 1, 2, and then now you switch to shot, at least I do. We'll see what he does. Switch to shot, and you see that opening in the middle there? Fly right through it. Like, we're like one and the same, man. Same brains. Right minds think alike, right? That's how I do it. Except he's cool and he got the stars, and I don't get the stars. Oh, Trum, keep an eye out because I have a video talking about what you're talking about exactly, like the exact topic. So keep an eye out for it. I'll try and do it this weekend. I have some other videos, but that's going to be one of them I'm going to work on. 22. This stage feels like a huge departure from 1-2. It just feels way different. Between the loops, I always feel like 22 feels way different than stage 2, whereas the other ones feel like harder versions. This one feels almost like significantly harder than the which makes sense. It does make sense why there'd be such a jump since it's such an early stage. Oh, see, Plaz? See? Plaz, are you still there? Look, he gets the triple now. Watch, because now he's got more meter to work with. In case you guys don't know, when you go into the second loop, your chaining becomes way more lenient. The bullets get faster and more thick, but the chaining gets way more lenient. So let's watch him do it. Let's count the tanks. 1, 2, 3, 4. So he gets 4 out of that bad boy. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, so the thing is I feel like CS is kind of a hard ship to play in Loop 1 in a weird way, because I feel like AL is really good Loop 1 ship, and CS is kind of like a crappy Loop 1 ship, because in Loop 1, CS is like too powerful in some places, and it's really slow, and so it has trouble getting around, then it has trouble, it kills stuff a little too fast, it wipes the screen a little too hard. So I feel like Loop 1 CS is actually a little bit more challenging than AL, where AL, I mean, survival isn't that bad in Loop 1, even with AL, but AL has that speed and that precision to where you can really milk shit, and I feel like I have a much easier time in Loop 1, personally speaking. But the trade-off, and also CS has like harder boss fights and stuff like that, but the trade-off is when you get into Loop 2, CS evolves into like this amazing ship. I feel like CS is really good in Loop 2, whereas AL struggles in Loop 2. So it's like an interesting swap. So if you could like play AL in Loop 1 and then swap to CS in Loop 2, that would be pretty insane. It'd be really interesting to see if someone did a mod like that, what kind of scores you could run away with. I don't know if it's a higher scoring potential in the second loop or not, but I do know that survival wise and chaining wise, I mean, it's way easier. So here we go. The funny thing is I found a really reliable way to take out this tank and to chain it. I was really proud of myself. Let's see how he does it. It's going to be much more complicated than the way I do it, but he's going to get more hits. Yeah. This is that's a very like top tier way to do this. Where normally I come up here and I blow up. See these turrets on the left here? I just blow them up. But he's not doing that. Probably for chaining reasons. And then those top turrets up to the right, I blow those up too, but he doesn't do that. I can see why he's doing that. He's basically putting damage on the tank to take the tank out earlier, is what he's doing. And he lined that up just right. Look how Look how precisely he lines this up. This is some real precision here. He lines it up to where you do enough damage to get that tank to switch shots. So when you damage him enough, he does a different attack pattern. But he does it perfectly timed to where he shoots where he needs him to. So let's say he did more damage to the tank. That tank would have shot earlier, and he would have been in a tough position here. I'll pause it and show what I mean. So he's doing just the right amount of damage on this tank here. So let's say he blew the tank right here, and imagine those bullets are flying at him now, which can happen. See, he lines it up just right to where he gives himself a nice open space there. This link is a little bit challenging in Loop 1. Very easy in Loop 2. I've taken out the tanks hard, but the actual link itself is trivial in Loop 2, which is funny. That happens a lot in Loop 2, where some of the links are equally hard for some weird reason, but then other ones become really trivial if you can survive. So 500, I think not too far off of the Loop 1. He's gonna have more because he took out more tanks, I think, but I think pretty similar to Loop 1 chain size. Oh, okay, I should talk about this boss fight here. So far I do it the same way he does it, except I don't dismantle the left side, I just blow up the right. Fun fact you all might not know. So right here, when he spawns, you'll notice he point blanks the left side. If you point blank the left side, it'll shoot at you with this attack if you're too close. So he's not too close. Look how he's backed off. If you're on the left side and you're point blanking it like this, if you get too close for too long, like right, you see how he backs off? If he stayed up there, a kill attack would have spawned and killed him. Funny thing, if you do it on the right side instead of the left, like I always do, that kill attack only spawns on the left side, so it won't hit you. So what you can do for survival, come up to the right side and take out the right side and just point blank it this entire time, because the kill attack won't hit you, which I think is pretty funny. But he's dismantling the whole thing. I don't do that, so a little bit of difference there. It's more hits, but more risk, basically. So, what are you? Wow. The thing is, okay, I want to show this, because this is going to be really important if you're playing for survival. If you leave this alive, this turret right here alive, but on the left side, not the right side, this next pattern here is nerfed really hard. So this one right here, it's severely nerfed if you leave the left gun alive. So he's going to have a real fun time getting through this pattern here. But he obviously knows what he's doing. It's more points, obviously, but for survival it's much more challenging. Then you gotta get up there, because this last bit here is really hard. The thing about it is if you play AL or something, you'll kill him way earlier, so you don't have to deal with this pattern nearly as long. But with CS, you gotta deal with this pattern for quite a while. And if you get in the wrong spot, like if you're over here on the left side of the screen, you're screwed, because you're not hitting him and he's still spawning shit at you. So you have to also manage it to where you're always hitting him, otherwise you can get trapped in the corner and it's not fun. Yes, this is his ShmupMania run. Two, three. This is the wall of walls. 2-3 is where really great runs go to die. Oh, this stage, everyone hates this stage. If you say you like this stage, you're crazy, or a Dodonpachi player or something. So yeah, the funny thing about this is chaining this I don't think is all that much easier, because CS doesn't get a whole lot of benefit off the like bigger enemies like that in the second loop. What the fuck? I've never seen this before in my life. This must be some sort of safe spot. What the hell? I've never seen that. That is one of the swaggest things I have ever seen in Dodonpachi. It must be some kind of safe spot. That's awesome. I've never seen that before. I kind of want to start doing that now. So he's chaining it all. He's getting all that chains into the mid boss. So he's playing 2P. Remember I mentioned 2P? This is the boss that is easier with 2P because the bullets are less aggressive. See how you don't have a point of comparison, but they're usually much faster. And I think there's usually more of the little ones. Yeah, so that's a big reason to play 2P is because that pattern here, I mentioned this in my Shmup Saga episode, but this pattern here is completely random. Scientists of for ages have tried to figure any sort of logic or manipulation to it, but I've asked many Dodonpachi players about it, including Prometheus, and he's just like, just gotta dodge it. That's it. There's nothing more to it. Unfortunately. That I'm aware of. Maybe that's the real hidden knowledge, is if there's some kind of way to manipulate that pattern a bit. Back in this section here. So he's going to focus on getting these big fat cancels. I think Dodonpachi needs its own little term for it, but he's got to get those cancels. It's really all about like managing the damage that you do on these carrier ships here, where you need to do enough damage to be able to pull the trigger when you need to, but not so much that you blow them up early. So remember I mentioned you want to delay this kill a little bit. That's really critical. If you don't delay it, wow. I wonder why. Strategy, I'm sure, but that was crazy. So take out these turrets. The thing about this is that in the second loop, this thing has way more health. So you got to be much more aggressive about getting that damage than you do in the first loop. That's a fun trick where you hit it with both your aura and the laser at the same time. It's not a lot of places in Dodonpachi where you're able to do that. Still going with that chain. Again, it's much easier to carry further because of the much larger leniency. I wonder if he can get through the whole thing. Yes, he did. He got through the whole thing. Oh my gosh. Everyone's the nightmare. The run breaker. I call this boss the Jordan because it's 2-3. The Jordan. So much to say about this boss. So the first thing is that you need to be very strategic about how you damage it in the beginning. So let's watch what he does and then I'll comment on how he does it. So left, right, damage center, damage the arms. Okay, so let's go back. So first thing he does is he's going to take out those turrets. That is absolutely necessary. You see those turrets on the center? And while he's doing that, he's going to damage the left arm there. So turret. Now he's going to move on. He's going to damage that right arm and take out the turret. You don't want to damage them too much though, because you don't want them blowing early. Then he's going to come up, see where he gets it nice and red. Then he's going to damage those turrets in the back. That's important. Pull back. Now the thing is you want to blow those middle sections, and you need to take out that turret there. So bad RNG for him because he got the walls. That makes it harder. But if you're really good, it doesn't matter what the RNG is, for the most part. Second wall. See, if you damage them early, the thing is when you blow the middle section and they start to open, you can get a lot of damage on them before they actually activate. And take them out much earlier. See, so now he got that taken care of. Very, very clean. Now he's got to take out these back turrets. Absolutely necessary to take those back turrets out. One trick he could do, but he's not doing because only I do this, is you can actually fly up when it's low enough like this and it does this aimed pattern. You can fly up and like fly in a circle around the boss and do a ton of damage on those back turrets. He could have done it right there. He doesn't though. It's riskier, and I think it's just weird. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do it other than me. And it breaks your hit counter too, so he's probably not going to want to do that anyway. But if you're just doing it for survival, it's really good. Good luck so far. Good luck. That aimed pattern is your best friend. You would wish it would just do that over and over. This pattern's not that bad, but it's a bit tricky when you got those turrets alive still. Takes out the... Interesting. So he took this thing out fast. Took it out real fast. I wonder how. That has to do with the way he point blanks it at the beginning. But he doesn't even bother taking out those back turrets. That... Yeah, that was impressive. That was impressive. Yeah, well, I normally take out those back turrets, Gus, for survival, but I'm gonna have to figure out how he killed this thing so fast. He really put a ton of damage on it. Way faster than I do. Very, extremely good fight. I'll have to watch that again and see how he gets so much damage on it. It must be early on. Like Plaz was saying, if you get your point blank at just the right spacing, I think it does way more damage. I just want to see how much damage he puts on it early on. That's about what I do. I wonder how he got so much damage on it so fast. Oh, look. When you go up a little bit, it really increases the damage. Watch when he comes up just a little bit. Look, he's gonna come up a little bit. Watch how much faster he does damage. Maybe that's the trick. Like there's some... I don't know. I'll have to watch it some more. But it seems like he takes this thing out really fast. Yeah, when he gets up high like that, I think that's what's doing it. Look at this. Look at how much it just melts it. Very interesting. Yeah, that boss is the run killer. Ah, interesting, Plaz. That'd be cool if someone made a hitbox viewer for Dodonpachi. Imagine that. That would be cool. M2? M2 needs support this game. Okay, so what's funny about this stage is, like, this stage with CS in the second loop is actually kind of easy. I'm not gonna lie, it is a little bit easy. Comparatively, right? Because, just because CS is such a beast, it just invalidates a lot of the patterns in this level. Like, you can just sit and shoot, fly around. I in a few runs chained this without even trying, just flying around and shooting. It's crazy. And then this part here, you just kind of hang out, shoot. Nothing too difficult. You do need to know the patterns and stuff, so you still need to know it, but just when you compare to like stage 5, 2-5, stage 2-4 is so easy in comparison. I have a funny little trick here. So what you can do is you can actually just fly up here, right here, and just like shoot it. It's hard to explain, but you just sit up there and you point blank it with shot, and you can like chain it without having to like dodge all that much. Like you see how it goes in all these bullets and it's like really precise. You can avoid all of that if you just go up and shoot it with your shot, and you can like misdirect it and go around it. I'll have to you'll see when I do my second loop stuff, but yeah, you can just totally do that. Probably gets you less hits and all that good stuff though. Get those bees up. Here, now you can just be aggressive, where before in loop 1 you have to be a little more passive so you don't kill everything too fast. Loop 2, you just sit there and shoot, kill everything real fast before it spawns bullets. Yes, Gus. Yes. My routing's always about, like, it's easier, but it gets you less points. That's like the main theme of Mark's routing. It's like, oh, that's actually easier, but it gets you less points. That's always gonna be what happens. Very nice. This section really isn't that different from like, these sections here really are not all that different than the first loop. They're just, the bullets are a little faster and they're thicker, but not significantly so. You just have to be adjusted to this bullet speed, really. So, remember in the first loop you have to do this thing where you shoot the laser, then you cross and all that? Watch what you do in loop 2. He does it again. Wow. I wonder why. Because you can just sit there and kill it with your shot and it'll link still, so I wonder why he does the same strat. Maybe it gets him some more hits and stuff, probably. Very high though, very high. See, the hits between the first and second loop really aren't all that different. Yeah, I think so. You definitely probably get more laser hits and stuff. Oh yeah, so this boss here, you must get the glitch on this guy, otherwise it is curtains. He is, imagine if this guy didn't have the glitch. Imagine. I don't want to imagine it. It would be a nightmare is what it would be. So he's gonna come up. Million ways to skin a cat to get this glitch. The thing about it is, in the second loop, the window to hit the glitch is actually wider. So technically it's easier in that sense, but there's way more bullets on screen, so getting in position is harder. So like getting up there, as you'll watch, getting up there is just, you just have to memorize it basically. Or be really clutch, I guess. Because there's a really specific timing. He just nails it. Look, he doesn't even, he's so dialed in that he doesn't even have to like check his health and do all that stuff. He just holds the laser and he just flies into it. That's really, really good. I think so, because he is a beast. Like, if you couldn't glitch him, he'd be a nightmare to try and like no miss, especially in the second loop. Okay, well, we got him. 2-5. Ironically, this opening section here is easier to chain, of course. You just kill everything fast. Where in the first loop I was talking about how you had to be really careful with how fast you kill stuff. If you tune into my streams, you'll see me struggling with this section over and over. And it's not because I can't get through it survival-wise. It's because, like, you have to be really careful with the chain timing and stuff. But in the second loop, you can just shoot everything, and your chain usually won't drop. You just, okay, let's speed kill everyone, and you're all good. See, the reason why he did this here is it's more risky, but he's getting all of them hits. Watch. He gets everyone, I think. I think he kills everyone. Oh yeah, even that one tank. So more risky, but he got all the hits. Come up and around, that's always fun. I feel like if one stage in any game teaches you the concept of going up and around bullets, it's this section, right? That's where I figured out how to do it. It's funny, once you get past here, the chaining for this part is like really trivial. You just shoot. Just shoot, and you'll get the chain. Just don't die and shoot, and you'll get that chain. Whereas in the first loop, it's a little more challenging. Same thing with this up here. There are times where I'm practicing the second loop, and with CS specifically, not the other ships, with CS, and I do wonder myself, is this really that much harder than the first loop? Until you hit this section right here, the Hall of Hell. That's when you're like, yeah, this is harder than the first loop. Even with, so I feel like of the ships of Dodonpachi, CS might be the best in the Hall of Hell. This ship just has it covered. But even with CS, this section is very difficult. It's just about memorizing so much. You have to memorize. Kind of the basic strategy is you need to take out those mid tanks as fast as possible because they spawn random bullets. But you also need to weave your way through these popcorns. The nice thing with CS is because the shot is so powerful and wide, it gives you a lot of coverage. But still, you have to really know what you're doing. Otherwise, you get walled in really easily. This part right here, he still needs to go right because if you go left, you get walled in. It's just like a hard fact. Yeah, he does make it look easy when it's one of the hardest sections of the game. So the funny thing is for a long time I went left here. Like I'd go left. This is just a section of Dodonpachi where they decided, no, you're not going left. No, you must go right. And I cannot tell you, once I figured out to go right instead of left, it really helped. It's just designed to go right. No prob, comes up, gets those hits. The thing about it is that, let me go back a little bit. Sorry, I'm fumbling over my controls here. I'm gonna go back a bit. Right here, after he gets the cancel, if he was to fly up after the cancel, he gets a really easy section up next. Like, sometimes this section can be harder than the Hall of Hell at times. If he just flew up after that cancel, he dies for it, okay? So look, right here, after this cancel, I keep missing it. Okay, let's go back. So it comes around, blows. If you don't know, you need to blow the sides, and then you blow the middle for the biggest cancel. Oh, he missed it. That's the issue. I was wondering what was going on here. So he misses the cancel. You're supposed to blow the sides first, but he ended up blowing the middle on accident. So you get this baby little cancel. And then the problem is that during the cancel, if you move forward, you can just lay waste to everything before it can shoot you. But if you hang back, like he does here, because he wants to get these tanks, if you hang back for score because you want to get the tanks. The punishment is that it throws all these bullets at you that you wouldn't normally have to deal with if you moved up. He gets walled in there, man. Yeah, hanging back on that section is so hard. So hard. I don't do it. So I'd be surprised if he went for the chain here just because, you know, his chain dropped and everything, but looks like he's going for it. Nails it too. Oh no, he drops it at the end there, but it doesn't matter. See, this death here, I wonder if this was like a protest to death. Sometimes I call it that, where you get so salty about dying that you just need to die again. Like, why does he die here? He's kind of just mad, I think. That's my theory. Because I do that in well, it does sort of like point blank him. The thing I hate about the second loop in Dodonpachi is tanks and stuff will do this to you. They'll just shoot you at like point blank range like that. So, that sucks. But it's also like when you die in Dodonpachi, like this far into a run, for me, I always want to kind of just like turn off the console. And sometimes I'll call it like the protest death, where I'll just like think about resetting, but I'm not, and then I die while I'm thinking about resetting. The thing about this boss fight here is it's all about getting that Danny. You have to get the damage on this guy because his final patterns are not fun. Look how effective he is at doing it. So go down, here's the save spot. I think him and I do this boss exactly the same, I think. Except I go forward instead of left. Left is better, I should start doing it, but I go forward because I'm unique. So that bit there is not that bad. You just need to make sure you get that point blank in while it's happening. Watch. That's what it's all about, is getting that damage on this guy real fast. See, he comes up, gets that perfect point blank, while also taking those guys out. CS handles that really well. Not really that much harder than the first loop. Come up and around. So, yeah, so he's in the middle here. I've seen so many different ways people do this with CS. Like Sun switches sides and craziness. He's just hanging out in the middle here. And then you go down to the side. This is like the most classic way to do it. But he's getting less damage than Sun does. Sun does this in a way that the guy dies before this pattern, so, which is crazy. And hangs out. Boom. I should do that. Yeah. Yeah. He got point blanked by that stupid tank there. Alrighty, 2-6. Looking at that big old score. If he hadn't died, this is just the cash out stage. If you have your full max coming into this stage, it's just so many points. So many points come from that max, so yeah, that's a big bummer he got killed there. All this stuff is about equally hard to chain, which is kind of weird as the first loop. This bit's easier. Just get in there, kill everything. So right here, he's gonna want to put a lot of damage on these guys so he doesn't have to do too many of these patterns. Oh nice, he got him for that last pattern, very good. Got the B. CS does really well in that section. That's actually a lot harder with CL. Do the switch. You can be a little bit more aggressive now, because in the first loop you can't be too aggressive there, otherwise your chain will drop. Here you can just kill everything as soon as possible to survive. I think this section is a nightmare with AL. Ooh, interesting. He leaves the tank alive. Wonder why he does that. I am not sure why he does that, but I'm sure there's a deeper reason why he leaves that tank alive. Because I just blow the tank earlier. It's not like a chaining concern, because this section's really easy to chain. But there must be some other reason why he does that. Very clean. Leaving that turret there, or those turrets, like before. This is looking very similar to Loop 1 actually. Not too many differences. Just faster and harder, right? Get that point blank. Yeah, take these guys out before they shoot. You gotta love that. Okay, this part here is really challenging. The thing is he's such a G, he's gonna go for it, of course. But you could kind of just bomb through it, really, because you could combo the bomb into it. Here we go. So the way I do this, I spam the crap out of this boss, so I don't really fight it all that much. But let's see how he handles it. I don't bomb here, but from like after this pattern, I just bomb my way through the boss for the most part. Just because my Hibachi strategy is different, where I use a lot of bombs on him. Very clean dodging. This bit here has, it's like the first one, except it has these little change up bits where you have to squeeze around them. That is crazy. Maybe I gotta start practicing this. He gets up kind of close. Wow. It's like bullfighting. He like flies into the bullet and then flies away from it. That's crazy. Probably necessary considering. Yeah, the 2-6 final pattern. Whoa, that thing is no joke. So here we go. The big fat bee. I wonder if he's gonna dismantle it. Probably, right? Damages the wings. Getting some slowdown from shot. That's why he's shooting, because it gives you extra slowdown rather than using your laser. Just gotta take out that wing up there. You get extra. You get a lot of extra points for doing that. He is working, Big B. I've actually never even dodged these patterns before because I've never had him live this long. He could just bomb him out long ago, but he's taking him apart for the extra points. Still gotta take out that last wing. Bam. Now he can just point blank him and take him out. I have a theory that maybe one day I'll test some more, but I feel like if you take Big B down, you get a more aggressive Hibachi. That's what I think. I think if you bomb spam Big B, for some reason you tend to get less aggressive Hibachis, but if you take them apart like that, you get more aggressive Hibachis. We'll see when the final pattern comes, but I think he's gonna have a wicked final pattern. Even with 2P. Even with 2P. So right here is where I do my strategic suicide, because you get a big fat point blank if you do it. You actually kind of get two in a way, but he's not going to do that. Bombing at the end of the pattern because Dodonpachi is well designed and the patterns speed up at the end. He's going to bomb here. It's actually kind of an art to getting those bombs off, because you want to get them off early enough to where you get a little bit of a point blank, but not so late that you miss it. So getting the timings on those bombs actually matters a lot, because you can get a lot extra damage just by timing your bomb correctly, because you get a point blank before the next pattern begins. Like right here, did he do it? No, he's late. So after you see the 8, the 558, around the front of that H, around the front of that 8 is where he needs to stop doing damage and set up for the point blank. I'm really curious to see if he will or not. I haven't seen this run before. So he hasn't got there yet. He could have just done the strategic suicide. Didn't need to. Okay, so right here, oh damn it. Twitch. Okay. Hold on. I'm just battling Twitch today. This is madness. Okay. I want to show you all something if I can get Twitch to cooperate here. Okay, let's go back. So, if he gets, see around that 8 here, right here, he should stop firing. Should have stopped firing because he could have got that point blank. See, he missed the point blank. I don't know why the Japanese players don't like play around the point blank more. They seem to not though. Wow, he got a fairly mild final attack here. So my theory did not pan out. This is a pretty mild one. I kind of feel like CS gets more mild final attacks than AL for some reason. This is all superstition. I don't have hard evidence of it or anything. This is a pretty kind final attack, to be honest. Playing very well. The funny thing is the bullets will speed up if you stop hitting Hibachi. That's something I remember Banana Manic was commenting on, where he felt like the speed up was random. It actually isn't. It's if you're not hitting him. If you're hitting him, the bullets stay at the same speed, but if you stop hitting him, he gets off, your laser gets off him, the bullets will speed up. So there is some predictability. You just need to make sure you're prepared when your laser stops hitting him. Really? But Juju, is that right though? Because I mean, they all bomb the final pattern, and if you bomb the final pattern, you lose your hits. Whereas if you get the point blank off, you could potentially save yourself an extra ship. Right? Oh, wow. So he goes for a no miss, no bomb on the final attack, usually? Interesting. Well, I guess we know the reason why. So that's why they're not doing those point blanks, because they want all the damage. They're greedy. Wow, what an incredible run. It's also, I have to emphasize, this was played live. So this was, what was his final score? Let's take a look. 583 mil. Yeah, they are. I just didn't know that they actually went for it. I thought that, you know, they were aiming to get the life bonuses and using the bombs and stuff. So yeah, that's crazy. So theoretically, if you're really good at that final pattern, right, CS could get a ton of hits because your laser's weaker, right? Like, look, like theoretically here. So okay, so the way you do it, let's go back. So let's say you were going for the hits. So the way you would do it then is you would like intentionally, I don't know though, because you could, I don't know, I guess so. I guess that's how you would do it, the way he does it there. Man, going for hits on Hibachi is rough, because not only do you have to worry about getting killed, but he also like flies around randomly, right? So you have to also try and keep your laser on him, otherwise your hits go down. That's crazy. That must be why they laser bomb too, right? Because you lose less hits if you're laser bombing, probably, than if you do a regular bomb. Which I think is correct, right? I'll have to test that. So they're going for those hits, huh? It's got 4 bomb. This final attack is pretty kind, to be honest. Oh, he was so close to like a 30 hit, 28 hit, something like that. Wow. Oh, that's interesting, Juju. 583 mil live. Very well done. Well, everyone, I have to award you all a Medal of Honor if you somehow made it through this stream of madness. Of course, the day I decide, hey, let me try and do something extra and fun for people, Twitch decides, nah, we're not gonna make this easy. It'll be interesting to see. I wonder if it'll give me my whole vid at the end, or if it's like a bunch of busted... Well, it definitely was Twitch, though, like 100%, because whenever the stream would go out, I actually still had internet connection, and I could see you guys talking in the chat saying, oh shit, the stream's down. Then I'd look at OBS, and OBS was basically telling me, hey, Twitch isn't responding here, homie. Oh, jeez, that's gonna suck. I have to, like, combine all these vids together. I guess it might be kind of useful in a way where I know where I need to cut parts out and stuff, but yeah. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. No, I don't have a local recording, Gus. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope this was fun. I'll get it to work. I'll piece it together. The final VOD will be fine. I'll use that editing magic. Right? Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it. And yeah, shoutouts to ShmupMania, and shoutouts for everyone there letting me do the videos for them and stuff. Was it? That's funny.